Happy Friday, everyone. This is Shantae K. Shanteezy. Welcome to today's edition of My Analysis. Today is Friday, June 12th, 2020. I remember what day it is. And I'm going to come with some stuff. So, I got it. So, we're still in the midst of a pandemic despite all the other issues we got going on in our country in regards to race. So, we are at 2,400,572 COVID cases in the United States. Those cases have risen in 23 states, including the Southeast and parts of the Midwest, and even one state in the West. In terms of deaths, we are at 114,613 deaths, and the death toll is still rising. So within a 3-month span, we are critical. So who's behind us is Brazil at 828,810, and Russia, followed by Russia, is 510,661. That's a lot. And of course, we have no testing, no mass testing. The ACA is under attack. I'll explain about that. In the meantime, the New York State Governor Cuomo had a very short brief but good briefing today. He addressed the COVID issue. We're still watching the numbers, and the number of testing in New York City is today was 1.5, which has been consistent trend. 1.5, 1.7 is below the 2% tau, which is good. In terms of by borough, yesterday, according to yesterday, the Bronx is at 1.6, Brooklyn's at 1.5, Manhattan's at 1.2, Queens is at 1.9, and Staten Island is at 1.3. So we're still in the 2%, under the 2% area. So that's big improvement from where we were at in the beginning of April and late March, in the beginning of April, to now that we did all this work. So for those who did protest last weekend, still protesting, there are 15 additional sites that has been added this week. So you could go on health.ny.gov to find out the nearest testing site. Also, if you at a local CVS, you can go get tested at a local CVS to be tested. So because everybody in New York City do not live with each other. So that's the main thing. 42 people died last night, but there have been cases that have been going up in states, and that includes the Southeast, such as North Carolina, South Carolina, which North Carolina has the highest testing positive rate in the country, which I did not know that. Georgia, Florida, Texas, Missouri, Arizona, Arkansas, Nevada, and even California. There was 180 people in California that was killed. They got killed. Not killed, but they were all got sick from attending a church service. So that's exactly why this disease is airborne. We still are learning about this each and every day. That's why states should not relax on social distancing measures, because it seems like it's important. It seems like states like New York, slightly New Jersey, Connecticut, and Massachusetts have been practicing their social distancing, and I'm assuming it's Michigan too. I'm not quite sure about Illinois. I haven't heard any crazy things about Illinois, but they've been under wraps so far. So it's mostly the Southeast, parts of the Midwest, and even some states out west in their COVID cases. Also, in terms of the civil unrest, New York State have passed legislation that includes the repeal of 50A, also have banning on chokeholds, having the AG as the special prosecutor, and banning on false 911 reports, like the Amy Cooper situation that happened in that Central Park down here near me. So that was passed, and it was signed into law today. Aside him was the majority state Senate leader, the speaker of that legislation, legislative body, excuse me, and Al Sharpton was there, who is a lifelong civil rights activist out of Brooklyn who has an office uptown in Harlem. So they were there today, and they are, and I think it was introduced and is signed an executive order as well. Andrew Cuomo, he signs that will require local governments and police agencies to develop a plan that reinvents and modernize police strategies and programs in the community. So community policing needs to be in place because the police department has been budgeted and they're still not living up to what they're supposed to be living up to, and it needs to be reformed, defunded, and all of that. But I'm going to get to the defunding part in the minute. And so there was just more stuff that he said, and he wants, these people to have a budget April 1st in New York State. So that's what's going on. But more on his briefing, you can catch it online for those who live in New York State or don't live in New York State. You can still watch it. It doesn't matter because everybody's been watching him since the beginning of or the middle of March. So, I mean, hey. So getting into the politics of things with the New York State legislative body passed a bill. Andrew Cuomo signed it, so it's going to be in effect immediately. The New York City Council did vote. It has to, I think, be signed into law by the mayor to defund the police by $1 billion, the NYPD, to cut their funding by $1 billion. So they will have $5 billion. I believe that should have been a step further because they have more money than the education department, HRA, HPD, with the affordable housing program and other agencies. And also, ACS as well. So I think they should have went a step further. $1 billion is kind of generous, but at least they're trying to go to do something because they've been receiving calls. A lot of them. I even called. So that is a plus. And when people get scared about the term defund, because like I said, the term defund has almost spooked me, and I almost didn't understand what defund the police is. But defund the police means cut the funding, reduce the funding, and divert it somewhere else. Because it needs to be diverted somewhere else. There's people that need food stamps. There's people that need affordable housing. There's people that need childcare. There's people that need to be in transitional homes, work programs, college students that need more financial aid. That can be dispersed in those areas because homeless people are out on the street. You need more transitional housing, more programs to get them equipped to be model citizens within the state. So that itself, will be great. In terms of Dave Chappelle has this documentary called, I think, 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And he basically clapped back at Don because Don Lemon, called all the Hollywood folks out for not taking part and not voicing their concerns in regards to the protests and the civil unrest in our country. So Dave Chappelle quoted this is the streets talking for themselves and they don't need me. I keep my mouth shut. Don't think my silence is complicit. First of all and foremost, you're an influential figure in the black community along with Tyler Perry, along with Oprah, along with Gayle King, along with Diddy, along with Ice Cube. Yes, you guys are acting on your Twitter handle. You putting out documentaries. And let me not include Beyonce and Jay-Z. But what are you guys are really doing? How are you guys are using your platform to speak for injustices in our country? Because it seems like you guys ain't doing that much. I don't see it. Not one bit. But that's just my opinion. But Don Lemon was right to call him out. In terms of switching gears to Mr. White House resident. So he decided that he wants to roll back protections on LGBTQ people for the ACA. I mean, he's in court right now to strike down the ACA, and he tried to do that, and that's the only healthcare thing, and they try to strike it down with no plan. So I am going to read some of the experts of this. So Trump administration finalized a rule that would remove non-discrimination protections for LGBTQ people when it comes to health care and health insurance. One of the many rules one of the rules and regulations put forward by the administration that defines sex discrimination as a only applying when someone faces discrimination for being a male or a female. It doesn't protect people from discrimination in the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity. And that came from striking down the 1557 of the ACA. And the original established it's illegal to discriminate on the basis of race, color, national origin, sex, age, disability in certain health programs and activities. But the phony response that we got from the civil rights director of the Health and Human Services Department, according to the director, that's what he said. We're going back to the plain meaning of terms biological sex, biological sex, some bullshit. So this administration not just only don't like black people, don't like Hispanics, they don't like the LGBTQ community. I have friends and even some family members that are part of that community. And for this administration just to undo not just only Obama era things, but stop progress in this country is to show that while you cannot sit out elections, you have to vote. Voting is our power. Voting is our right. We got to fight. Not just only to vote, we got to get this Voting Rights Act of 1965 restored because we don't have no voting protection. The Republicans are coming up with voters ID. I think that's the main tactic of voter suppression. They're gerrymandering. They already gerrymandered some districts, and they still trying to do it again. I mean, sitting out an election saying my vote don't count sounds really ignorant and stupid. This is exactly why voting matters. And not just only this year, but every election. In your local district, the state, federal, you need those people in power because they make the decisions. Like today, my governor signed a whole civil rights and criminal justice reform thing, and there's more work to be done. So this is exactly why voting counts. Sitting at home and say, "Oh, I don't vote, my vote don't count," I will push back away from you. I will not have a conversation with you. It may sound cynical to me, but it's the truth. It's the truth. But moving right along, Kamala Harris, it was an article about her in the New York Times. The AP reported, Reuters reported that she's a top contender and a front runner for being vice president. I mean, all these people and all these progressives saying that, oh, Kamala Harris, blah, 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 blah. She doesn't attract me. She doesn't appeal to me. She doesn't relate to me. Sounds kind of stupid right now because, first of all, Kamala has been working her ass off of putting out a series of relief bills that will help us. Part of the criminal justice reform thing, the anti-lynching bill. I can go on and on and on and on. She's trying to help us, even helping black businesses or local businesses on in our communities. And talking about she doesn't relate, she doesn't do this, and she put people in jail. It's stupid as hell because you can't put nobody in jail from marijuana. An AG doesn't do that. The AG doesn't have the power to do that. That's actually the DA's job. And the DA is supposed to act as an independent investigator independent prosecutor, excuse me. So people who have that information, I think they can sound kind of stupid right now. And they should. They should. But that's on them. But I said it before. I won't be surprised she'd be picked. I would be glad that she be picked because she, out of all these ones that are in the vetting process, such as Keisha Lance Bottoms, the mayor of Atlanta, Val Demings, who is the representative of Florida in the Orlando district. Who else? Stacey Abrams and what's her name? The governor of Nevada, Governor Lujan. And I think Amy Klobuchar, she should have withdrawn. But those are the contenders, and Kamala is on the top tier. I mean, duh. Most qualified, serve on the judiciary and the intel committees of the Senate. Had years of executive experience when she ran the DA and then the AG office. I mean, come on, let's be real. And ready for the job? Okay. Now on to Miss Blexit. So I've been putting out a series of videos about Miss Owens because I still don't get it. She does a lot of stupid and says a lot of stupid shit, her videos and her tweets. But I actually look up her organization, Blexit. I took the time to do my research so people don't come for me. So Blexit, I put AKA fraud. Founders are Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum. Brandon Tatum is another Trump-loving law enforcement kind of dude who, whatever, is now Republican and now has Republican values. Yeah, right. So her organization is a 501c3 organization dedicated to the advancement of urban and minority communities by encouraging youth to seek and take advantage of opportunities in 21st century America. She stole that mission somewhere. That mission is too familiar. The organization promotes education initiatives, pursues criminal justice reform, educates minority communities regarding American founding principles, and highlights the importance of free markets and entrepreneurship as an antidote to poverty. Where's the programs? Anybody know? This is the part that tripped me. Blexit events are both a rallying cry for freedom and electrifying lives, especially that the blurred lines between pop and politics. WTF? Anybody know? Then I wrote down the founders. So the founders, Brandon Tatum and Candace Owens, came together because of their shared desire to build a better future for America. Seek to educate minorities across America about the history of our great country by highlighting principles of the Constitution of the United States and the importance of self-reliance. First of all, is the United States Constitution. This is how stupid they are. And self-reliance? Self-reliance to what? Don't pull yourself up from the bootstrap? Y'all taking the Clarence Thomas approach? And then, time to take the criminal justice reform seriously to stop over incarceration of minority communities and value the life and the sanity of every individual. First of all, their organization is bullshit. I don't see any events that they've done. I don't see any initiatives that they've done. I haven't seen them sit with Donald Trump in regards of the First Step Act. I haven't seen them even donate to things. These are grifters. Grifting as fake Republicans. Real Republicans like Shamichael Singleton, who worked for HUD and worked on other campaigns. Sophia A. Nelson, who worked, in the congressional, have a congressional work background. And even Tara Setmeyer. So when these grifting ass so-called black people that I call them, or black KKK, whatever they want to be, put out crap like this, I know it's bullshit. And then I looked over their website just to make sure that I saw what I saw. There's no programs, no initiatives to help, no pictures of them going to several communities and helping people. Whoever donates to their organization, you're stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. And this is exactly why I tell people, have your own analysis, do your research before you start believing people. Because this here is bull. Bull, bull, bull. I knew she was a dummy when she was on TV on Fox News talking about, oh, blackness and blackness. Someone, oh, Shantae, don't ease up on her, Shantae. She knows what she's talking about. No, she doesn't. You go on her website, it's a bunch of bullshit. Like, this information right here, I wrote it down for myself because it's stupid. Dumb. Like, this is black people that you don't want to see yourself around because it's ignorant. It's niggerism at its finest. Low class mentality. That's what a nigga means. Jesus Christ. But to ease my mood, because this is short, I just want to say this is exactly why this twilight zone that I'm living in 2020, this is why we got to vote. And this is why you cannot sit down. Analyze stuff for yourself. Research on candidates you're going to vote for. Research on Biden. Yes, he's not everybody's ideal pick, but he's making necessary changes. He's doing something. And as much as I love this person who ran in 2016, Hillary did not listen to everybody. She didn't. She didn't hear out them knuckleheads on the hard left. You got to hear people out. Even the stupid assholes that we don't like. You got to hear them out. Address their concerns. Joe Biden wants to bring people together and actually address these knuckleheads' concerns. He just needs to learn how to answer questions to interviewers better. Even if you don't like them. Even if they come up as poop shows. You still want to hear people out. So on that note, I hope you guys have a great Saturday. Enjoy the sun. It's supposed to be a little cooler. Wear your mask. Sanitize. It's summertime. I know the mask is hot, but you got to do what you got to do. All right? Have a good night.